Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Hope you're doing fantastic out there. And if you guys could subscribe, please do so to the channel. Calais Campbell, officially a Miami Dolphin. And I'm not going to lie, dude. Gave me the goosies. You know, I'm happy to see the former Hurricane great in the aqua and orange. And it's going to be really, really cool to have him on the team this season. I don't know if this is going to be one that puts him over the top. But what I do feel like is it helps the floor immediately for the Dolphins. Like you're not gonna have this guy out there, a pro's pro, as productive as they come, being the size of a giant. He's a giant, dude. And you're not gonna have him on this team and feel like disaster is going to come towards your way. So I'm excited about it. Very happy to have Calais Campbell on the Miami Dolphins. And for him, I truly do believe that age is just a number. But also, you know, this is a man who is still seeking his first championship. Mentioned this today that he had a chance his rookie year with the Arizona Cardinals. God, he's been around long. Somebody brought this up today on the show that he was in the same draft class as Jake Long, and I was mind kind of got blown there for a second. I guess it's like Al Horford winning the title last night, but it's like, man, that's crazy. And then you look at it like, do you know this is the class that Joe Flacco got drafted in? This is the class that Calais Campbell got drafted in. Second round, too. But he's been an absolute stud his entire career. And, you know, he talked about the idea of signing with the Dolphins and why, you know, knowing Anthony Weaver was going to be a huge factor for him.
Huge. You know, because I definitely had quite a few teams interested. And, I feel like the main reason why I wanted to come here was because I really believe in who Anthony Weaver is as a coach.
That's immediately off the bat goosies because, like, first of all, I don't know much about Anthony Weaver. You know, we're getting to know Anthony Weaver. Seems like a personable coach as opposed to the Grinch that they had last year. But, you know, he mentions this tsunami defense that he wants to bring to the Dolphins, but you also want to have that credibility, that guy who knows it, right? You want to have your guys in the fold, so having Calais there helps out.
And in our relationship, you know, we talked a lot during the process, and just knowing that, like, you know, I mean, he knows like what I'm capable of doing. He understands my mind and how like I see the game, and he trusts me, you know. And you know, at this point in time in my career, every time you build relationships, you know, you have to kind of reestablish trust. You know, you have new people that you're interacting with. They got to kind of get to know you, who you are. Now, because of my pedigree and how long I've been in the league, it happens usually fast. But, you know, with somebody like Coach Weave, you know, I mean, he knows, like, you know, like I'm never going to try to hurt the team. You know, I'm always going to be in position to try to, like, you know, do what's best for the team. But I take calculated risk sometimes and, you know, like try, you know, play with different techniques sometimes, but everything is calculated. And so we have those conversations on, like, you know, when we were working together in Baltimore of like, you know, this is how I want to play it this week. You know, it was never like some, you know, spur of the moment, just, you know, do what you feel. Every once in a while you trust your instincts, whatever. But most of the time it was calculated, it was planned. And, you know, but that belief and trust that, you know, he's going to allow me to, you know, do the things I know are going to make me be successful. And this team to be successful.
Hey, I think it's going to be a recipe for success there for sure. Like having that familiarity there. And he's you know, he's 38. He doesn't have any time for this nonsense of getting to prove yourself to some whippersnapper coach. Don't have time for it if you're Calais Campbell. But also it was just the idea that, you know, he wants to keep playing. You know, he's still very confident in his ability. And hearing that stuff about, you know, like, I don't want to be out there and suck. I don't want to be out there and suck and be old and you don't want to be the old guy that's embarrassing yourself, but he thinks that he can still be really damn good and be productive, and felt like by the end of last year he was even playing some of his best football. So I think this is going to be a tremendous addition. Very biased in this, I understand, because a former Hurricane, a guy, truly one of my favorite players in the league. So the fact that he has ended up on the Dolphins is just a bonus. There was some other news today on a former Dolphin, could be reunited. Connor Williams. This was tweeted out by Adam Schefter. He says former Dolphins and Cowboys free agent center Connor Williams, who was coming off season-ending knee surgery, expects to be ready for the start of the season and is in discussions with multiple teams about where to play in 2024. He plans to pick his new team before training camp begins. And the Dolphins report date did get released today. I believe for the rookies. I want to say it was July 16th. Let me get this for you. I got the list sent to me by earlier today. Here's the report date for your Miami Dolphins. The rookies report July 16th, and the vets report on July 23rd. So, Connor Williams got about a month here before he wants to decide, will there be a reunion? I don't know. See, for me, if I'm a guy like Connor Williams, obviously the system, right? There's been a bit of a financial standoff already with the Dolphins. He wasn't happy with his money now. He's coming off this vicious knee injury. The Dolphins went and got a new center in Aaron Brewer. I know there's some questions about his pass protection, but they did go out and get him. And so, they probably went into this thinking, hey, not sure about what Connor's going to be like coming back. And Connor, his numbers were off the charts. I know he was there for an errant snap every once in a while, but certainly his loss was felt by Miami in a big, big way. If he was into an idea of just having an insurance policy, hell yeah. I'd be all for it. I guess my thoughts of them going and getting essentially his replacement, having Eichenberg there as well, who they don't want to give up on, then also getting Connor Williams, is he gonna be agreeable to that? Is that gonna be something that he's gonna be into as far as playing time is concerned? Certainly, you're in this situation of this knee injury. You want to, put your best foot forward, and especially a guy who felt like he was deserving of a big time contract. Now you essentially have to go into this prove it year. Can you do that if you're not necessarily guaranteed being in this certain spot for the Dolphins? So I don't know. I tend to feel like the ship has sailed there, but I know that there's some fodder there on Dolphins social media platforms that why don't you kick the tires on bringing him back? So I'm not against it necessarily. I don't feel like it doesn't feel on its face like it's very likely. The things that would benefit him, one, his agent's Drew Rosenhaus. There's obviously a strong connection there with Miami, and the front office knows Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel essentially made him a center and did this grand transition over for him. But then I guess the questions are, well, how healthy is he? What does it take to get him up to full speed? Don't the Dolphins want to be in a place where there's continuity instead of everyone, I guess looking over their shoulder? On the other end of it, you saw lineman depth is huge for the Miami Dolphins. It's a little bit of luck too, because the Dolphins were musical chairs last year, and it was almost a headache. But the problem with that is you have a guy like Teron Armstead on your line, and it's like he's amazing, but you feel like already you're going into this knowing there's going to have to be at least 6 different weeks where there's going to be a different offensive line. So I guess all the insurance in the world could be better. I just don't know how acceptable Connor Williams will be to that, knowing some of the past standoffs that there have been with the organization. And then the other piece of cool news that I was reading this article by David Furones of the South Florida Sun-Sentinel on Devon Achane. And I cannot wait to see this guy play football this year. He was absolutely electric. I didn't think anybody on a field could nearly touch what Tyreek Hill does as far as just whoa, he looks the most unstoppable. But Devon Achane, in a lot of ways, match that just play for play. Obviously, it's not just the production over the span because of the durability and the touches and all that. But dude, anytime he touched the football, it genuinely felt like, pew, dude could be gone. And now he is doing some things where he was lining up at different positions. He had said to reporters at minicamp, quote, lining me up at different positions as far as receiver, running routes and stuff. That's something that we're doing different this year. So that's something that I've been doing in the off season. He had been working and running routes with the wide receivers. He says, I got some of the best receivers in the room here. I was going out there running routes with them when they weren't here. I did that with them. Basically, why not? A receiver room is one of the greatest, and I want to do all the stuff they want me to do, so might as well take the tips and learn from them. That's pretty goosies. That is a great resource. He obviously has 2, really productive rooms that he can tap into with, having Raheem Mostert there, and he's going to have to guide in some way some of the young guys this year as well. But you just think about like all the speed that this team can have. It could just make a defense absolutely mental. But I'm excited. Whatever tricks they want to unveil with Devon Achane just sounds absolutely awesome, and I'm all here. I'm here for all of that stuff, man. It's it's an exciting little time. It's an exciting little time. We're about a month out before you get into to training camp mode. But Devon Achane getting unlocked with even more abilities. Good luck, defense.